Hello and welcome to Quick Tip 30. I had a question from a Markplex subscriber who had taken one of the indicators on the site and was converting it to a strategy. Everything was working fine. This particular indicator uses a dynamic array, but when he changed the strategy to use intrabar order, setting that to true, he then got an error that the array was going out of bounds. So we're going to do a similar thing here. I've created a little dummy program. Quick tip 30. This has also got a dynamic array. We're not telling it how big it is when we define it in the variables and arrays and inputs, etc. And what we're doing in the one statement is setting the max index of the array, called myArray, to be equal to day of week plus 1, and I've just set that arbitrarily. What we're also then doing is setting the element 1 of this array to a sort of random number, and clearing the print log. And then we're printing what is the max index of the array using get max index plus the value of that my array, the first element. And then we just got a trade, which never happens because condition 1 never evaluates to true. So looking at that's already applied to a chart, we get what we might expect, and that is the max index is set to 2, and the value that we've set to 23.23 to 2 decimal places stays the same. Okay, that's fine. But what happens when we change the intra-order generation to be true? Well, we're going to get a couple of things happening, so I'm just going to verify this. We'll first of all see that the intrabar calculation setting has been modified, and what will also have happened is because of that, the program has been set to inactive or the status off, so I'm going to change that back to on. But now what we're going to see is we're going to get this error, dynamic array index is out of bounds. So what's causing that? If we look at the print log, we'll see something interesting, that first of all there are now 2 bars with the same time, and on the first one the max index is set correctly and the value of that max array 1 is set correctly, but by the second tick of that, as it were, tick of that bar, the program has completely forgotten what the max index of my array was and also the value. So how do we get around that? Well, the answer, or one answer, might be to use intrabar persist. So we can set that to be intrabar persist like so and verify that, and then go back to the chart, turn it on like so. And now what we're seeing is that all the way through the program, the index, max index is set and the value of the myArray 1. So what has happened is, as you'll notice, for each bar, we now have several ticks. Now we haven't, just to go back and explain for the strategies, we've got a couple of places we can change the settings. Properties for all, we haven't changed this to a value. We could do, but what we have done though is effectively for the strategy itself is change the calculation to enable intrabar order generation and calculation, only we've set that in the program. And what that means is that now we're getting, for each price, we're getting effectively 4 price points or 4 ticks. And if we don't set this to intrabar, we don't use some other way of doing this, then that value is forgotten. But bear in mind, you may not wish the value of an element to be remembered from tick to tick. So that could be a potential problem for you. But in this particular case, and in the program that I was looking at for the Markplex subscriber, the intrabar persist setting made sure that the set max index was remembered and also the value of that particular element. So I hope you might find this useful. I will post the code on the quick tip page.